Welcome back to Tech Talk. Now, as you know, there's a presidential election coming up, and both sides are trying like hell to pander to the youth vote. We'll explore the tech side of electoral politics in the latest installment of AmeriTech 2012. Lip Service Edition. Now, as you know, internet freedom has become an important issue to many people, especially considering the concerted efforts behind the near passage of the Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protect IP Act earlier this year, SOPA and PIPA. Companies like Wikipedia are now taking a stronger stance against government attempts to regulate the internet worldwide, and Reddit has actually launched a national open internet bus tour. So how exactly are the two political parties trying to win the favor of people who believe the internet should be, for the most part, left to its own devices? For that, we need only turn to the party platforms the Democrats and Republicans released at their respective national conventions. So let's take a look here. I have bits and pieces of the Republican platform for 2012 and the Democratic one. You may remember that the Democrats got in some trouble for their platform, but that's another issue entirely. So let's see here. The Republicans, under the section that says the First Amendment, speech that is protected, they have, we insist that there should be no regulation of political speech on the internet. Bold step there. They also have a whole section here on protecting internet freedom, which is good. I'll read, the internet has unleashed innovation, enabled growth, and inspired freedom more rapidly and extensively than any other technological advance in human history. Its independence is its power, blah, 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 free from government intervention. We will remove regulatory barriers that protect outdated technologies and business plans from innovation and competition. The idea that heightened regulations in the tech industry will get in the way of, the next Steve Jobs, I believe, as Mitt Romney phrased it during his convention speech. And by the way, both Mitt Romney and Barack Obama referenced Steve Jobs in their convention addresses. So, bipartisan appeal, what can you do? We will resist any effort to shift control away from the successful multi-stakeholder approach of internet governance and toward governance by international and other intergovernmental organizations. Personal data receives full constitutional protection from government overreach, and that individuals retain the right to control the use of their data by third parties. The only way to safeguard and improve these systems is through the private sector. Can we assume that's a repudiation of privacy being exploited via wiretapping and such under Bush and Obama? Perhaps. We shall see. The GOP obviously very against net neutrality, and they also, interesting language here, they come out against the Obama administration's, quote, Luddite approach to technological progress. I assume you're familiar with the phrase Luddite. The Obama administration clearly out of touch with the, modern technology or something like that. Here's the part of it that gets into the social values of the GOP, making the internet family friendly. Millions of Americans suffer from problem or pathological gambling that can destroy families. The Republicans have come out against gambling on the internet, and they want the Justice Department to start cracking down on it. Now, while they said they want to protect First Amendment rights on the internet earlier in their platform, they're trying to crack down on internet pornography, and they also come out against human trafficking, which is obviously something that everybody would be against. Child pornography, obviously, but they're also coming out against current laws on all forms of pornography and obscenity. So very hardline view there. So if the Republicans really wanted to and they had enough power, they might want to prevent you from, jerking off, I guess. Here's an interesting thing here that there's bipartisan consensus on this one. We oppose any diplomatic efforts that could result in giving the United Nations unprecedented control over the internet. The Democrats have come out against this too. The UN wants more control over the internet. Both Dems and Republicans, the Obama administration, all have said no. And here's also something interesting that I wanted to bring up. Given the events of the Arab Spring, et cetera, where people were using social media to communicate, they say, recognizing the vital role of social media in recent efforts to promote democracy, Interesting, because some conservatives this week were now saying, given what's happening in Egypt and Libya, that the Arab Spring might not have been such a good idea. Quote, "We support unrestricted access to the internet throughout the world to advance the free marketplace of ideas." So that's the Republicans on internet freedom. As for the Democrats, a few less pages here, not as much as the Republicans did, but they have something here about they want faster railroads and faster internet access. Okay, sure. We will ensure that America has a 21st century digital infrastructure, robust wired and wireless broadband capability, a smarter electrical grid. President Obama is strongly committed to protecting an open internet that fosters investment, innovation, creativity, consumer choice, and free speech, unfettered by censorship or undue violations of privacy. Same language as what's in the GOP bill, and yet we have all these undue violations of privacy going on every day. It's almost as if these platforms are meaningless. Let's see, the administration is vigorously protecting U.S. intellectual property. Aha. Lots of references, counterfeit drugs here. We will continue to work with all stakeholders to protect the security of the nation and its knowledge assets, U.S. intellectual property. They're not acknowledging that whole mishigas over the copyright and SOPA and everything, and the MPAA, which, by the way, gives a lot of money to the Democrats. So nothing really on here that goes into detail on that. Obama administration is touting that they are the most open, efficient, and accountable government in history, and by creating, President Obama launched the Open Government Initiative to empower the public. Forums such as data.gov and that We the People petition site on the White House website. So open government, I guess. So touting transparency. And then the penultimate page of their platform, it's all the way down here at the second to last page, a section on internet freedom. The Obama administration has led the world to recognize and defend internet freedom, the freedom of expression, assembly and association online for people everywhere, blah, 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 blah. Built partnerships to support an internet that is secure and reliable and that is respectful of U.S. intellectual property. Just to remind the MPAA that they're still on their side. Free flow of information and privacy. Support the current multi-stakeholder approach to internet government. That's literally the same language that was in the Republican platform. Holy shit. Anyway, so those are the platforms. But it's not just the Democratic platform that has readily acknowledged the growing concerns over internet freedom. The leader of the free world addressed that very issue during a Reddit IAMA session a few weeks ago. Obama was asked by user Shark Girl if he would push for internet freedom to be included in the DNC platform. Here's the president's response in full. Internet freedom is something I know you all care passionately about. I do too. We will fight hard to make sure that the internet remains the open forum for everybody, from those who are expressing an idea to those who want to start a business. And although there will be occasional disagreements on the details of various legislative proposals, I won't stray from that principle, and it will be reflected in the platform. Yes, we can. Okay, not that last part. However, other users were quick to highlight everything the president didn't say there, including concerns over user privacy on the internet, the increasingly stringent government rhetoric used against WikiLeaks, and the FBI's crackdown earlier this year on Mega Upload. And remember, President Obama was good and ready to sign SOPA into law before the internet went crazy. Now, to be fair, Mitt Romney likely agrees with Obama on most things to do with internet policy. And despite people going crazy over Romney saying this about internet pornography,
I want to make sure that we all understand we got to clean up the water that our kids are swimming in. And by that I mean the pornography, the drug culture, the violence, the sex, the perversion that bombards them day in and day out. And so I want to make sure we enforce our obscenity laws. And I want to make sure that retailers don't sell adult video games to kids. And I want to make sure that every new computer sold in this country after I'm president has installed on it a filter to block all pornography, and that parents can click that filter and make sure their kids don't see that kind of stuff coming in their computer.
Despite that, Romney is a smart businessman. He's not actually going to do that. He knows what the costs would be. Now, as the election continues, we'll have more on the politics of the internet and what both parties are doing to win over the tech crowd. But for now, that's all for me. And when we come back, we will wrap up this episode of Tech Talk. Stay tuned.